All right, dads, today feels like the right kind of day for this. It's a bit cool, a little damp, and not exactly what I'd call comfortable, which is usually when you find out if something actually works or doesn't. Durable dads, brothers from other mothers, and sisters from different misters, thanks for tuning in. Today, we're putting these back to work. Now, if you've been following along, you've seen these axes before. They were rough. They needed some love. And we brought them back. New handles, cleaned up, sharpened. But here's the thing. Fixing a tool is one thing. Trusting it again, that's the real test. So today's job is simple. We're going to process some wood, build a stacked Swedish torch, and get a pot of coffee on. No overbuilding, no fantasy setup, just a fire that does what we need it to do. All right, we're up the back at Jameson Creek here, so let's see what we're working with. We don't have perfection. We're not hunting for it. We've got something dry enough, solid enough, and workable, because you know what, out here, good enough usually is. All right, so this is where we're going to start. We're just gathering what we need for this version of the Swedish torch. A decent sized round we can split, we've got right here. Some smaller stuff for kindling, and some material I brought along that I gathered during that belt test episode. That's going to help this catch quick. Today we don't want anything fancy, just fuel. All right, let's have a look at what we've got in this here magical starter, fire starter bag, shall we? All right, just a quick little goodies, a little bit of birch paper from the fire starting bag. We collected some witch's hair. This is great stuff to have on hand, and a little bit of fat wood. You know what? I think that'll do. We've got no problem starting this fire. The snow's starting to, or whatever it is starting to lighten up a little bit. So let's get to some processing of some wood, shall we? Now we're getting into it. This is where things get honest. There's no shop, no perfect setup. Although we're not exactly unprepared. Just the tool and the work. The hatchet's for the small stuff, axe for splitting. We're going to find out pretty quick whether these tools are going to work or we didn't get it quite right. But I've got a feeling they're going to do just fine. And this is really the point of today. It's not how they cleaned up, but how they perform when you actually need them. No splitting dogs. So for this Swedish torch build, we're going to want to cut out about here, here, and here, process that down for the build. So we're going to get a bunch more kindling out of this too. All right, let's take this out. All right, now that I've cut those pieces out, a part of it is we had to put this back together, figure out how it was. It was going to be like this. And we're just going to take the rendered pieces, stack them together, put our material in the bottom, and then, yeah, maybe cook up a couple of dogs. Ha ha. All right, let's get to this. So the idea here is that you don't want the pieces fitting directly together. You want to be able to hack out some. Probably I'm going to take out from about here to here on this one. So there's an airflow that can go between the two pieces so they don't fit exactly together. So we've taken out this chunk here, so when those two match together, there'll be a nice gap and the air will rush through. We'll get a nice hot fire. Let's get this fire going so we can get some coffee on. All right, so what we're gonna build here is a stacked Swedish torch. The setup's pretty simple. You've got the stacked pieces put together. Airflow is through the middle. There's a controlled burn from the inside out. It's not going to be a big fire pit. No spread. Just heat right where you want it. And we want it right there.
All right, so what we've done here is just put it together, reassembled it with with some baling wire or mechanics wire, whatever you want to call it. And you should keep this with you. If you have a chance, pick some up, keep it in your vehicle. It's super handy to have out in the bush. You fix all sorts of stuff with it. And I'm a bit of a scavenger. I actually found this full roll, side of the road, and it's helped me out quite a few times.
Perfect. I can see how baling wire would be a godsend. I think that's something that I need to pick up a roll of that and put that in my kit as well, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so how are we going to do this fire build?
We are going to put some tinder in there. There we go. So I'm going to get a bit of this going. Put a bit of this on top of this chunk of wood. We'll get this going. Drop it in there. Okay. I made a couple small feather sticks just to put on top.
Perfect. And that is wax lint, is it not?
It is cotton infused with paraffin wax, petroleum jelly, and a couple other things.
Awesome.
And yeah, goes up pretty darn good.
And we kind of want this with it's a little damp and snowy here.
Yes, as much help as we can get.
Absolutely. Canadian Falls Spring.
You can hear that water sizzling in there.
You can, absolutely. But it's going, it's looking nice in there too. It's going. Helps this is nice and dry and we've got some chunks to keep feeding it. This should be able to give us, oh, that smells amazing.
Yes, it does.
This will get us a cup of coffee. But speaking of that, now that this is starting to make its way, maybe I should start getting coffee going.
Wood is definitely the key.
Dry wood is the key. It's a little bit ways away, but we'll get it when I take this there. But first, we have important stuff to do. So here's the nice part. The hard work is done. The coffee is on. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I present to you gratuitous fire and nature footage. eat your hearts out. All right, so this is a little shot of the Swedish torch in action. You can see how they have the slits turning into the airflow. And because, you know what, we don't do anything around here without having coffee. The coffee is on its way. We can't wait.
First percolate.
First perk. Love it. As always, Mother Nature, here's your share. All right, kids, a couple of quick takeaways from this one. First, you don't need a massive setup to get something useful. This kind of fire is efficient, simple, and it totally does the job. Second, these axes, they're not decoration, they're working tools again. And honestly, this whole thing, it's not fully about the axes. It's about this idea that sometimes progress isn't buying something new. Sometimes it's just taking care of what already works. So, do these axes earn their place in the Adventure Kit? Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. Righto. If this video gave you some ideas, or you know what, got you thinking about your own gear, what's worth restoring, replacing, or upgrading, hit like, subscribe, and stick around. We were getting warmed up. So here's me and Jeremy keeping the coffee hot and the tools back to work. Peace out, Scout. Arr.